So guys, this is the Air Jordan 33, and we have to say it is one of the best Air Jordans of the 21st century. What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the Sneaker News YouTube channel. Today we have a very exciting pair of sneakers to show you, but before we unbox what's inside here, we'd like to ask you a quick favor. Just hit that subscribe button and of course turn on your notifications if you'd like to be notified when we post new content. We're uploading new videos almost on a daily basis, so you're going to want to subscribe and you'll get to see some of the cool stuff that we get to unbox. So without further ado, this is the newest Air Jordan called the Air Jordan 33. So this is the Air Jordan 33, and in this video we're going to break down all the little design details that went into this new shoe. We're going to talk about the direction of Jordan Brand, what they're trying to do with this shoe in particular, and of course cover release dates and colorways and prices and things of that nature. The Air Jordan 33, it was officially unveiled on September 20th, 2018 at an official launch event in Los Angeles. Jordan Brand invited us to go out there and check it out, so we got a first look at the newest Air Jordan. So the overall hanging theme of the Air Jordan 33 is the idea of space flight and space travel. So there are a lot of the whole NASA astronaut sort of moon boot sort of aesthetic that's going on with the shoe, and there are a lot of exposed elements. As you see right here on the forefoot, there's like an exposed stitching. And as you can see on the tongue, it's not really sewn in, so it's just sort of almost stitched above there. So they're clearly going for that deconstructed look. Even with the wiring that sort of acts as the FastFit mechanism, all that technology is exposed because they're looking for that sort of informational design that they don't want to really hide anything, which is ironic because footwear design, they're trying to hide as much under the hood, whereas the Air Jordan 33, they're trying to show you as much as they possibly can. As you guys know, starting with the Air Jordan 31, what the brand did was decide to infuse elements from the shoes 30 years prior. So for example, the Air Jordan 31 had elements of the Jordan 1, and the Air Jordan 32 had elements of the Jordan 2. So with that known, there's a lot of anticipation behind the first look at the Air Jordan 33 simply because we all knew it was going to be inspired by the Jordan 3s. There are various elements of the Jordan 3. Of course, there are a lot of new elements that make this its own unique shoe, so we're going to cover all those little things. So just to point out the details that are very Air Jordan 3 is the two pieces on the mudguard. As you can tell, it has a similar shapes and dimensions as you see on the Jordan 3, but of course there is no elephant print on this pair. On the toe box, you see the same similar toe cap, which is very Air Jordan 3 heavy. Another little detail is obviously the tongue. You know, they decided to go with the oversized, simple leather tongue with the Jumpman logo. That's something that's one of the key features of the Air Jordan 3. Of course, on the heel, they have a little throwback call out to the Nike Air. That's going to be a standard on all the Air Jordan 33 colorways. Another little detail that might not have been noticed by many is that on the sole, there's a clear circular window that reveals a mechanism that we'll discuss a little bit later. It's called FastFit. The reason why that's important is because the Air Jordan 3 is the first Air Jordan shoe to feature visible air technology. That little window shows all the technology that goes into the 33s. A nice little nod. But yeah, going back to the overall design of the 33, as you can tell, it doesn't really look like an Air Jordan 3, and we think that's a huge plus because you don't want it to look too much like the shoes of the past. You know, it's really important that Jordan Brand designs for now and the future and to appeal to the younger generations and really inform them who Michael Jordan is. And to constantly try to create stuff that looks like the past is a bit of a challenge, and it's quite honestly a pitfall because nothing's going to be as good as the classics. The Air Jordan 33, they went for the space flight travel sort of aesthetic, and you can see a lot of that in the instructional design. There are a lot of exposed pull tabs and little notes that kind of tell you what to do with each of these parts, and we're going to go over all those things. And of course, you see all the exposed moving parts, as we mentioned. You see the wiring that is part of the FastFit mechanism. You see this cord in the midfoot, and even on the medial side, you see this yellow pull tab, and we're going to go into a little bit about what all those things do and how that activates this thing, which is called the FastFit system. So again, the shoe was designed by Tate Kuerbis. He's been a Jordan Brand design veteran for a while. He did the Air Jordan 31 as well as the Air Jordan 32 and worked on previous Air Jordans before that. But what they went for is that space flight aesthetic. You see that throughout, you know, the upcoming apparel. You saw that in those two lifestyle shoes called the Proto React and the Apex Utility. The key to the Air Jordan 3 is the innovation, and that is a FastFit mechanism. So how that works is you basically slip in your foot into the shoe and you pull as hard as you can on that cord. Depending on how tightly you want it, you pull that cord and it locks it down. When you pull on that cord, you see it sort of spin. And if you've been following Jordan Brand on social media, they did tease a little sort of mechanism with like a turning sort of knob. When you do pull that cord to tighten, it actually turns this and you can see it turn. Of course, it's kind of hard to see it when your foot's on the floor, but again, that's just a nod to the visible technology. Because the shoe locks down in that manner, there are actually no shoelaces. There's no holes to put any shoelaces. You just slip in your foot. We have to say that it is a bit of a struggle to get your foot in. You know, a lot of these basketball shoes that don't have traditional laces, you really have to like work to get your foot into the shoe. So just a bit of a heads up regarding that. But once you have your feet in there, it's really easy to tighten. All you do is pull up that cord and it activates the FastFit system. And let's say you're sitting on the bench or you just want to wear the shoes loose. You take that yellow cord and all you do is pull up. And when you pull up, it loosens the mechanism, ideal for keeping your feet at rest. And a lot of basketball players, they say, you know, the importance of loosening the shoes when they're on the bench just to give their feet some breathing room. All you gotta do is pull up that cord and it loosens it and you're good to go. You know, locking down and tying your shoes has now become a really easy process. You pull up the cord, it activates the FastFit mechanism, and then to loosen it, you just pull that yellow cord and you're good to go. Again, the design of the shoe, really sleek. It doesn't look too much like the Air Jordan 3. They're just little elements that are more subtle than they are obvious, which we really do like. There are some old school retro hits like the Nike Air on the heel, but overall the Air Jordan 33 is its own unique shoe, and you know, we'll go ahead and say that it's one of the best Air Jordans from the 21st century. After Michael Jordan retired from the Chicago Bulls, a lot of the Air Jordans were very technical, very innovative, and a little bit over-designed maybe, but the Jordan 33 we feel is quite right. It's a nice look. It doesn't look too much on your feet. There's no Flyknit or anything like that, and that's great too because Flyknit is a very Nike property and it doesn't quite scream Jordan innovation, so we're glad they went with like a synthetic upper and they relied on the FastFit system. And now if you look around the shoe, there's all these little lines and markings. You see the red lines that sort of outline the Zoom Air 4-foot units on this red strap, which actually does loosen. There's more, you know, instructional design. You know, they're going for like, you know, exposed messaging. It's very off-white. Yes, we get it, but you know, that's kind of the trend right now with, you know, exposed instructions and lettering and super minimal branding. You know, as you can recognize, outside of the Jumpman on the tongue and as well as on the FastFit, there really isn't that much branding on the shoe. It's very clean. You know, the shoe is meant to look like it's meant for space travel, but it's not clunky or anything like that. Another little detail is that on the tongue and on the heel, there are these pull tabs with these red little lines. They're textured just so you can like, you know, help pull your feet in, but if you bend it at the top, it says the number 33. So that's another nice little hidden detail that Jordan Brand added. And again, there's no elephant print on this shoe. You know, of course, we bring up elephant print because that's such a signature Air Jordan 3 thing, but it's not gonna be on this release. A few of the upcoming colorways have elephant print, but in very, very subtle and hidden ways. So you'll see that soon. But this particular colorway is called the Future of Flight colorway. It drops October 18th and it'll be $175. Now, again, speaking on the fit, you have to stay true to size in terms of the length, but it's really difficult to get your shoe in there. It's like a bit of a struggle. You just can't like slip your foot in because you can't really get it loosened. It's pretty much attached on the lateral side, so the only place where it loosens up is on the medial side. So you really have to open that up, get your foot in there, then you tighten it by pulling on the FastFit system, and then you're ready to go. That's pretty much the fit. If you're a fan of Air Jordan performance footwear, then you know it has a 4-foot Zoom and heel air with the FlightSpeed system, so it's very comfortable. You know, other things such as resale value and stuff like that. You know, it's a new Air Jordan shoe. These don't really go for anything much than retail, so we can't really comment on resale prices unless they do something really rare or some super limited edition. But in general, new Air Jordan models don't really have a resale market. Again, if you want these, they're $175 and they're releasing on October 18th on Nike sneakers and select Jordan retailers. If there's anything else that you guys would like to see about the Air Jordan 33, hit us with a comment below. Of course, check all the links in the description. We're gonna have all the information about the 33. if you need. And again, make sure you subscribe so you can see more early unboxing videos such as this. And thanks for watching.